So today we are making the most sold Danish cake ever, which is a cake that originates from back in 1968 and is of course the lemon moon, or Citronmåne as it's called in Danish, and is even such a popular cake that there's like fan bases surrounding this cake on various sites. But of course that's the most sold cake, but I'm sure we can make it even better than the one they sell. But let's get started.
So we start by grating a lemon of its zest. And then in a bowl you can put in the butter with the sugar. And you can find all the ingredients in the description below as usual. And then after that is mixed, then we add in the eggs one at a time until we get a nice smooth cake dough. And you can see it becomes more and more like a cake as you go with one egg at a time. And then you should get something like this. And then you put in the baking powder with the flour and just give it a small stir so it's mixed into the flour. Then run the flour through a sieve and into the butter and sugar. And we run it through a sieve in order to get it a more smooth texture at the end of it. But you can take all of it in at once and then you just stir it until it's all incorporated and looking like this. And then lastly you add in the zest of the lemon. And while we have been doing this, then we also preheat an oven to 175 degrees. And before putting the dough into the form itself, then you just wipe butter around in order for it to release itself once it's cooked a lot easier. You can of course use like spray oil or something like that as well, but in Denmark we usually use butter for that sort of thing. And then just put it in the oven at 30 minutes. Depending on your oven, some might take like 35 minutes, but you can check it once it comes out. So for the syrup, then we are using 1 orange and 1 lemon. So we need the juices from the lemon and from the orange, and just remove the small seeds afterwards. Once out of the oven, then you can just turn it upside down and tap it briefly just for it to release like a good boy. And then it has a lovely golden color. Then in a small pot, then you can heat up the juices from the lemon and the orange along with the sugar and just stir it until the sugar is completely dissolved. And then you can turn the heat off and put it on top of the cake and let the cake absorb all the juices and all the flavor from the syrup, and admire that for a second. And then you can take the leftover juices and put that on top again and let that go through the cake as well. So while we wait for the cake to absorb all the syrup, then we can go ahead and write some calligraphy. Today I'm writing ichigo ichie, which means one time, one meeting, and basically translates into the fact that everything is a once in a lifetime experience, and every gathering is something that you should cherish because it's something that only happens one time. So now that the cake has cooled down a little bit, let's start with the topping. So we start by peeling the skin of one lemon and then cutting those into small strips that we will be using later. And then the lemon we take and we roll it to get all the juices in, and then cut it and get all the juices out into the bowl. And then you can add in about 100 grams of powdered sugar, but you can vary it as you see fit until you get the right texture. It also depends on how much liquid there is in the juice, of course, or how much liquid there is in the lemon, of course. And then onto the cake, and just spread it evenly out. And in a small pot, then you heat up a bit of water with the sugar, and then you let that come to a boil for about 2 minutes until the sugar is dissolved, and then you add in the lemon peel and let that boil for about 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then you can take them out and put them on a paper towel to let them get all the juice out, so they're just caramelized and not super soggy. And then you just place them on top of the cake and add a small leaf of mint as you see fit, of course. The decoration is up to you. You can also use the zest of one lemon and just grate it on top of the cake instead of the caramelized lemon. And then it's just to cut it. And it looks absolutely stunning, I think, at least. Yeah.
So in the Danish families, then we usually eat this kind of cake with a good cup of coffee. So we have prepared a cup of coffee as well this time. So you may ask, how was the cake, Alex? And the answer is super good. It's like it because of all the butter and the sugar, then it kind of like melts in your mouth in a way, like Japan's most extraordinary meat does, but this is just a sweet version of that. It still melts in your mouth, which is pretty cool, I think. The shape is as a moon. Usually in Denmark we have like half the size of a cake, so you have like half a moon. For some reason that is very popular. Is it worth it? Yes, definitely. If you want to watch more Danish recipes on Danish desserts, then I highly encourage you to click up here and watch more desserts I've made. And if you haven't already, then please remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification and like the video for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Vi ses.
Now we see.